Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to start part 2 on our rear axle build. So today we're going to put the carrier in here, put caps on, slide the axle shafts in, start putting the brake system parts on and everything, and then see if we can bring the truck back down, have it sit on the ground so we can measure drive shaft length, because I need to know the drive shaft length before I can order me a new drive shaft. And I think it's going to be a little different because this carrier is bigger, comes out further, so the drive shaft's probably going to be need to be a little bit smaller, shorter. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. So first thing I thought was pretty neat on these GM 9.5s, instead of just pushing your bearings in there with spacers, wedging them in there nice and tight, they have this system on here. There's threads cut in here, and you got this spacer here, which is pretty neat. So basically this just goes in here like this and screws in. I know it's got to be in there pretty far. I think that's probably far enough. And then I got the spacer kit, and I have already done the teeth marking and stuff the other day, so that is somewhat set. So we're going to double check it today after we fully install everything. But this shim's going to run right here, and then our bearings are going to go in here. So I'm gonna go get the carrier. We'll slide these bearings on here, or these races onto the bearings, slide it in, and then put the spacer in, and then we'll tighten it all up with that. Go ahead and lube it up a little. I can see why a lot of people go to a spool. This thing is heavy. back up so we can tighten this spacer I was telling you about earlier. What I like to do is go hand tight on all the bolts, and then we'll tighten that thing up. Alright guys, so that is how that system works. You can see the little holes in there from that ring. This bolt and this little thing right here goes in there and lines up in those holes. Then you put the bolt in there and keeps it from backing out. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get to tightening these. Now the torque specs on these are several ugga-duggas. That ought to do it. If you listen carefully, see if the mic will pick it up. There is just a little bit of play in there. It's just the way we like it. So that still measures up the way it did when I was measuring the painting the gears. Now because this is a used set, these gears actually have about 265,000 miles on them. So they're probably not only broke in, they're probably broken almost. But we're gonna send it, see how long they last. Or if they start whining real bad, I'll probably just buy a new set. I did the best I could. I got the drive side to line up real good, but the coast side just wouldn't line up as good as I would like. So it's probably gonna whine, but we'll see how it goes. So on these Detroit True Tracks, they normally would have a metal spacer that goes in here between the axle shafts whenever they go in, and then this piece goes right in there and holds that thing in. But since we did a C-clip elimination kit on here with the Ford 9-inch ends, now I can't get that piece out. Since we did a Ford 9-inch ends right there, we no longer need that piece. But I'm still gonna put this piece in there because I'm sure it uses it to be balanced. So instead of leaving it open, which it just goes in with snap ring. So I'm gonna go get an axle shaft and stuff it in there and see how that lines up. Also, before we put it together, I'm gonna squirt the inside of this thing down with oil. I didn't want to do too much now because it'll just run out and make a mess, but before we're ready to put the lid on, we're gonna oil it up real good yet. So I got the ARP 3-inch studs on this bad boy, so that ought to work out pretty good. I've always been running stock studs until now, and legally with slicks you are supposed to have your studs sticking out of the nuts, and mine wasn't doing that, so now I finally will have that part legal. There you go, now you can see the splines in there, so I think they're cut at almost the exact right length now. So, looks pretty good. You can put that retainer plate on there and install the brakes on this side. Just like yonder. Right, can't do that. Okay guys, so we did a little bit more work. We ended up using the brake lines off of my other axle. Ended up working out pretty well. The bracket, we only used one of the bolt holes, this one back here, to hold it in place, which is gonna work fine. Line goes underneath, connects to the caliper. So this brake kit right here is from I believe these calipers are basically the front calipers on on a factory truck like this in the front, and then some guy made a conversion kit and it works with the Ford 9-inch disc brake. So that's what I'm using it on. We'll see how that ends up working out, but it looks pretty good so far, so it should work out. So yeah, next thing is I gotta connect the shock. This one will reach. I still need to make an extension bracket for this one though. However, because we're short on time, I may run it without it for now and build an extension for it later. As you can see previously, it never even came close to maxing it out with the old kit, the old axle with a extension bracket on it, so probably just make another one, because I'm afraid that if I lift the axle to the point that this will bolt on, that we'll run into the problem where on the big end of the track, if the truck starts to lift in the back, that's going to max the shock out, and you do not want that. But yeah, also I think I got pretty darn lucky. I gotta go switch out the U-joint first yet, but I believe this drive shaft will work. It was actually my brother-in-law Honsa's. It comes off of a 3/4 ton Silverado pickup. I don't remember exactly which one he said, but it is about an inch shorter than my factory one. And the reason my factory one won't work is because this pumpkin here is longer. I don't know how much longer it is, but it's probably at least an inch longer. So because of that, I need about an inch shorter drive shaft, so I think that one's gonna work out pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to some more work on here, and we'll update you after a bit. Hey guys, gonna I'll have to cut that out. Hey guys, I want to introduce you to somebody, Mr. Nathan. He's gonna be doing some welding for us. So I had to extend these shock mounts, which I think I showed in a different video, but these shocks are off of are actually designed for an S10, I believe. So Nathan is doing some welding on here. He tacked it on there a little bit. Got some welding there. And those are some wicked welds, man.
Stacking dimes.
Stacking dimes. Nah, he's still in training, so he's doing good. But figured I'd get a little bit of video of him doing some welding.
Let's see if this number will want to cooperate. That one is actually pretty good.
Yeah, man, look at that. Now we're stacking dimes.
Now we're stacking dimes. I'm gonna come around. Oh boy, that one's not wanting to go in there. Not the beautifulest welds, but that'll work.
Oh, dude, that's good. Well, the thing is,
We can just grind that down.
yeah, we'll grind it. You're getting a grinder for Christmas, by the way.
I already have a grinder. I'm just gonna tack the inside there.
Man, this axle's almost too pretty for the underside of this truck.
I know, right? Just grind it down, we'll be ready to go.
Shoot, yeah, that's what the grinder's for.
That's right.
Alright guys, so this is the finished product. Got the brakes all done and bled. I know it still looks a little wet, but that's because they were loose, but we got that all done. Got her filled up with oil. Got a drive shaft in there. This is actually a 3/4 ton drive shaft that ended up being just the right length. It's not the best thing for huge horsepower, but it'll do for now. And exhaust is all bolted back up and ready to go. I got a shield put on for the torque converter. I never had one till now, but I did have to clearance it for the crossover that I built over here, or my brother built. So it's a little bit of a tight fit, but we got it to work. Figured it's still doing a decent bracing job like that, so yeah. Anyway, gotta let it down, adjust the cowl tracks, and take it for a spin.